sincere person, when he will study Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he will fall in love with the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam. He will fall in love with Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. John L. Esposito, he writes about the greatness of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. These people are not Muslims. These are sincere people who have done their research about the message of Islam. He talks about the capture of Jerusalem. When Muslims captured Jerusalem, when the Muslims went to Jerusalem, and Sayyidina Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu took control of Jerusalem in the year 638, he says people were surprised the way Sayyidina Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu treated the Jews and the Christians there. He said with the Muslim conquest of Jerusalem, the city became a safe haven in which all three religions could coexist in peace. And he said the Jews were banned from living in Jerusalem by Christian rulers. But when the Arab armies took Jerusalem in 638, Jews were permitted to return, live and worship in the city of Solomon and David. He says all were permitted, and they were called from all corners of the world to come and live in Jerusalem together. And then he says, Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu granted security to all. This is something I want to make clear, that to say that Islam alayyazu billah is a violent religion, it promotes violence, that has nothing to do with Islam. That is not al-Islam. That is not the Islam of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. He says that Sayyidina Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu granted security to all, whether sick or sound, for their lives, their possessions, their churches and their crosses, and all that concerns their religion. Who gave this? Sayyidina Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu. He granted security to all, to everyone. And this security for their life, that is one of the higher objectives of Islam. What is that? Hifzul nafs, protection of human life. The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam taught people what protection of life is. He said Umar granted security to all, Muslims and non-Muslims, for their lives, their possessions, their churches and their crosses, and for all that concerns their religion. And after its capture by Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu, Muslims, Christians and Jews lived together in peace and harmony in Palestine. Karen Armstrong, she says in Holy War, she says when Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu, when he entered Jerusalem mounted on a white camel, he asked the Greek patriarch, he said that I want to go and see the church. And Sayyidina Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu, he went to the church of Sepulchre. He entered the church and it was the time of the prayer. It was the time of Salah. And the person, he said to him that why don't you pray in the church? Sayyidina Umar radiallahu ta'ala said, I will not pray in this church. And the reason why he didn't pray in the church, he said, if I pray my Salah in this church today, there's a great possibility in the future the Muslims will demolish this church to build a masjid on the name of Sayyidina Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu. And he said, my Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam does not permit me to demolish the church. I am here today, I will not be here in the future. And if the Muslims on my name, because of me, if they demolish the church, that will go against the fundamentals of Islam. Sayyidina Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu said. Karen Armstrong mentions this, and he says, it is amazing that Umar, he went out of the church and he prayed right opposite the church. There's a masjid built on the name of Umar radiallahu ta'ala. Exactly where he prayed. This is the wisdom of Sayyidina Umar radiallahu ta'ala. And she said that the world witnessed this beautiful spectacle. She says that for years the Christians had used the Jewish temple as the city rubbish dump. All the filth was placed in the Jewish temple because they had banned the Jews from entering in Jerusalem. She said the Caliph Umar helped the Muslims to clear the garbage with his own hands. This is Sayyidina Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu. This is not like a Prime Minister of Pakistan or England. These are small places. He was a Khalifa of the entire Muslim world, helping the Muslims, cleaning a Jewish temple. The Jewish temple was being cleaned with the hands of Sayyidina Umar radiallahu ta'ala. Who is saying this? A Roman Catholic